Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review, kind of. We're going to be taking a look at actually a bunch of figures at once in this video, kind of like what I've done in the past with a lot of the things that, I've gotten for Christmas and all that. It's just it was taking too long for me to try to find time to record all of these, and have like their own individual reviews and whatnot. So I just figured just combine everything all in one video. Just like how I did in the past, and yeah, just to get this video done. So today we're gonna be taking a look at basically a bunch of Chaos Theory figures from Mattel, and these ones are all I found recently, lasting through I believe last week. So pretty much all last week I've been finding all these things, and I just haven't had time to record their individual reviews. So I just figured, now that I have time, I'll just tackle them all in one video, which it won't be as in-depth because I don't want this video to be too long, but we'll basically just go over each and every single figure and just what I like about it and all that. But yeah, here we got this newest grouping of Chaos Theory figures to add to my collection, and I'm very happy. We got at least one new species added, and the rest are all retools or repaints based on the show and all that. So yeah, as you can see here, it is compared with adult Darius right here, or at least a grown-up version of him, so you can kind of get a good scale of how big human figures are compared to these other figures. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the Darius Adventure Pack first. So this is the Darius figure that we got. It looks pretty good. It looks just like the character from the show, much like the Ben figure. I like the amount of detail on it. It looks pretty great though. I'm looking forward to getting the one with his yellow coat, and that's probably my favorite look for him. I only got this set because it was on clearance and it came with some cool repaints. But actually no, it wasn't on clearance, excuse me, sorry. It was on sale, so it was a cheaper sale, so I just kind of took advantage of it. But yeah, the figure is pretty good. Articulation wise, it's pretty much the same as the other Mattel figures. It's a great face sculpt and paint on it. On this figure, so yeah, I don't have anything to complain really about it. Obviously I didn't get the set just for this Darius. I'd rather have the one with the yellow coat, like I said, but this one looks pretty good for what it is, and yeah, I really like it. He did come with a net launcher, which is pretty much straight out of the show from the first episode, I believe, when he shot this at the Atrociraptor Tiger. So really cool, a really huge weapon, I would say. That would definitely be heavy to hold, but it's very Kenner-like, I would say, because of just the way it looked. But it's really cool. It's nicely sculpted. You got a button right here that allows it to shoot, and actually shoots pretty far, actually, so I'm just going to be careful not to shoot it out here, or else I might lose it. But a pretty nice looking dart here with some fabric on there and whatnot. But yeah, pretty cool. And he did come with a few repaint figures. Here we got Dimorphodon, which actually this one's actually a bit of a retool as well, because there is some slight difference with the sculpt, and there's a huge difference with its size, which we'll do comparisons later on. But for the most part, a really nice sculpt on this Dimorphodon. Mattel did an excellent job, because it's pretty much the same for the most part, with the detail here, with like the cool looking quills or feathers here, or not feathers, but the pycno fibers here on the body, as well as the wings, looking really nice. So yeah, the detail is spot on with this one. The only differences I think I could point out right now, other than the color, is that the teeth here on the front are a lot more elongated. So I think they did some changes to the face to maybe make it look a bit accurate to the ones seen in the movies. And the wings have like a really dramatic curve to it, so it's almost like in a flapping position. Instead of the other ones were a lot more straighter, these ones are a lot more curved. And obviously the size is a really big difference here too. It's much bigger, so I don't know why Mattel upscaled the Dimorphodons when they're supposed to be tiny. So I don't know. I mean, clearly that is a huge Dimorphodon. That'd be pretty terrifying. But yeah, articulation's pretty much the same. The head can go up and down, and it can rotate. The jaw can open and close. Wings can go up and down, and they can rotate. Nice paint job too on this one. It's probably the most accurate paint job for a mainline Dimorphodon because of, it's got like the pinkish color around the face and the brighter colors of the wings. So I think it's fairly accurate. And then you got the legs can move together, and then there's no articulation in the tail whatsoever. And then here is the scan code, which flips up just like that. So nice amount of detail on the inside too. And yeah, that's basically it for the Dimorphodon. Nothing a whole lot to talk about, but we'll go over it again during comparisons. And then here we got a new repaint of the Stygimoloch. This one's actually a repaint or retool of the battle damaged Stygimoloch that we've gotten from 2018, I believe. So really cool. And we haven't even gotten a new Stygimoloch figure since, I believe, 2020. So it's a nice welcome to get this one back. And then we're also getting another Stygimoloch with a Kenji figure. Looking forward to getting that one as well. This one's, like it says, just a repaint slash retool, so there is no battle damage gimmick. So this one is given like the danger pack treatment in terms of articulation and quality and whatnot. But really nice sculpt though. I really do like the sculpt on their Mattel Stygimoloch figures. Unfortunately, it's not 100% accurate to the ones in the movies because the head sculpt and whatnot, because this one's based off of the model or the maquette used for the stand-in in the film and not the CGI model. But for what it is, it's really good. I like the paint job too. This green color, very accurate to the one in the show. There was a green Stygimoloch in Chaos Theory. But yeah, really do like the colors on this one. I mean, it could have been applied a bit better. There could have been like a lighter color for the underbelly. The brown could have been on the legs and maybe continue down the tail a little bit. So it is a bit basic on this one, but for what it is, it does look pretty cool. Basic articulation as well, much like the battle damage one. The head can move all the way around, and the arms can just move forward and backwards. They can't pivot. Same with the legs, they can just move forward and backwards, and the tail can rotate. And there's also a scan code for that as well. But yeah, very basic, but a very welcome addition to my Stygimoloch herd. And then last but not least, we got the repaint of the juvenile Carnotaurus, or at least that's how I'm going to portray it as, since it's not an adult. And this is just a repaint of the Dominion juvenile Carnotaurus that we got back in 2022. So it's got the missing horn and everything. And kind of weird to have two figures, two different colors with the same broken horn. They could have given this one an actual completed horn, but you know, that's just me. The colors are very nice though. They're very nicely applied on this figure. Definitely much better than the Dominion one, I would say. And it's obviously matching the reddish colors of the other Carnotaurus color variants, because the other one from Dominion is based off of the other color variant. So this one's a welcome one. This one will work perfectly with the other larger Mattel Carnotauruses, including the Hammond collection. So really nicely done. Sculpt is very nice, very much the same like the Dominion one. And the colors, like I said, are really nicely done, better applied. I like the orange and the dark brown markings, the yellow eye, make it pop, and then the lighter color. And even the toe claws are painted, so that's a huge plus. I'm surprised they weren't even painted on the Stygimoloch, but really cool stuff here. Got the scan code as well for this Carnotaurus. And yeah, articulation is pretty basic. The head can go up and down, and it can rotate. Jaw can open and close. The arms can move in and out and forward and backwards, and same with the legs, forward and backwards as well, and even the tail can move. So very basic, but a very welcome one. You know, I always like getting juvenile or baby dinosaurs to pair up with my adult ones. This kind of adds to the cool look for all of these figures. Next, we're going to take a look at the other Wild War figures. I did not pick up the Ceratosaurus. I'm still debating whether I want that one or not, but these are the main three I wanted. We'll start off with the Parasaurolophus. So this is the bioluminescent Parasaurolophus seen throughout Camp Cretaceous, and then it made an appearance in Chaos Theory, proving that these ones are still on the mainland. And this one's a really great figure. I will say this is probably the best sculpt of a Parasaurolophus from Mattel. I thought that would go to the Hammond collection, but this one's definitely much more accurate to these original InGen designs of the Parasaurolophus. So basically the design that we've been seeing from the Lost World through technically Fallen Kingdom and Battle of Big Rock before they changed in Dominion. But this one's definitely much more accurate to that original model for the Parasaurolophus, and much better than the Hammond collection. Even though that one's got the better paint scheme, this one's got the better sculpt. I really like this one a lot. I love the head sculpt on this one. You know, very classic. And the amount of detail in this one's too is like it's got a mix of like scales and a mix of just some lined, wrinkly skin texture. It just looks really good. It's a really great Parasaurolophus figure, and a repaint on this one would be really cool. So if anyone's gonna repaint this one, that'll be really sick, especially with the amount of detail that's on it. It's got an articulated jaw, which is pretty nice, though Mattel needs to work on their articulated joints for their herbivores, at least on some. Like their giant sauropods are pretty good. Their Ankylosaurus is pretty good, but the other ones like the Triceratops and this one, they need to work on it. I'm hoping the articulated joints would have been something similar to like the Beast of the Mesozoic figures for their ceratopsians. Like the entire jaw should be able to open and close, not just the front part. Or as the Triceratops, literally it's just the lower beak that moves, which is impossible because that part cannot move individually. But for what it is, it's pretty good. It does get the job done for the most part. It's got some nice detail with the tongue and the gum flaps in there. So very nice. I also noticed that the crest here is a separate plastic piece glued onto the head, so it's not painted, so you're not going to have to worry about scuffing, which is pretty nice. The solid black eye is pretty nice too. It kind of adds to the life vibe of this animal. Just the overall detail is very nice on this one. I like the curved on the tail. Just the overall great sculpt. And then here you got the scan code for that as well. And yeah, just a great figure. And there's no articulated joint on the neck, so I really like the whole just plain neutral pose that's in. Like there's not a whole lot of action features going on. The arms here can pivot in and out, and they can move forward and backwards. And then the legs here can pivot in and out as well, and they can also move forward and backwards. So really nice, cool, all four or quadruped, pose for this Parasaurolophus. One thing I probably don't really like is how it's walking on its knuckles. These dinosaurs do not walk on their knuckles at all, both in the scientific world and in Jurassic Park. So that's kind of a very interesting choice that Mattel made. But it is what it is. So for the action feature, this one does not have the spin wheel. It just has a plain button, but it also has the sounds and electronics, or I mean the same thing, the sounds and the light up feature. So basically you push it and it makes some noise and it lights up. Obviously it's kind of light out here. All right, we'll just play the sounds, and we'll play the sounds at night in a little bit. So I really do like the sounds. They're very accurate to the Parasaurolophus in the Jurassic franchise. So spot on Mattel for doing that. I'm glad they didn't give it like Triceratops or Stegosaurus. They gave it like definitive Parasaurolophus sounds. See, I love that sound for a Parasaurolophus. Brings me back to the Lost World. But really great. And the paint job is pretty basic on this one. It's not the best. It's, like I said, it's pretty basic. You got like the plain yellow that's on all the parasaurs. Then you got like this nice pink here up top, and then some dark purple for the markings, which I would have liked for them to do the classic stripes here on the leg instead of just like these splotches. But they got the lines here on the body fairly nice. Would have been nice for it to continue down the tail instead of just having it kind of plain. And I would have liked a lighter color here on the underside, but that's just my opinion. This is more based off the bioluminescent one, though. They could have just kept it a normal paint scheme and just kept the electronic light up effect, that will look like it's glowing. But yeah, let's go ahead and test this out in the dark. So yeah, I really do like the light up effect on this one. Much better than Mattel's first attempt for their bioluminescent paras. It was just a shiny metallic paint job effect. This one's just an actual glow in the dark feature, which looks really good. I wonder if people could actually try applying glow in the dark paint on this parasaur that glows at night. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, this Parasaurolophus, really great one. I really do enjoy it a lot. Next up, we'll take a look at the Majungasaurus, which is a brand new sculpt. This is apparently based off of the show, which did not appear in season 1, so possibly season 2. This is Major the Majungasaurus. I mean, come on, it's got a name. It's gonna appear in the show at some point. But this basically confirms we might begin Majungasaurus in the Jurassic franchise with its official Jurassic design. Though I probably won't say this design is going to be 100% accurate. Mattel likes to base their figures off of early concept art instead of the final design, so keep that in mind. It may not even look like this. It might even be the same colors, but we could probably get a brief idea of what it could look like. And the detail in this one's really good. I actually prefer this one much better than the original that we got back in 2020, and we'll do comparisons later. And I really do like the sculpt in this one. It matches a Majungasaurus very nicely. Sure, maybe the body could be a bit more elongated to match like scientifically wise, but for the most part, I mean, it looks like a Majungasaurus just by looking at it. For being a Jurassic Park dinosaur, it looks very much like it. I like the head sculpt. It's got that classic Majungasaurus head sculpt with the horn. Really nicely done here. Even here on the front of the snout, it got some nice texture here on the possibly keratinous covering. And I like the separate molded rubber teeth, much better than the painted teeth, and the entire inside. It's got some nice detail, and the paint is really nice and glossy, so it looks like it's covered in saliva, which adds to that realism look. And the entire body is like very muscular, so very muscular Beliosaur. Some nice muscle definition poking out here and there. Just an overall really great sculpt on this Majungasaurus Major. It's really great. I'm surprised it doesn't have like the signature Abelisaur, scoots or osteoderms, on all over the body, kind of like the how it is on the Carnotaurus. They're just like splotched pebbles, larger pebbles all over the body. So I don't know if that's gonna be accurate or not. Maybe they're gonna change it. Who knows? But it looks pretty nice though. You got some nice row of spikes here all over the upside. It stops right here, then it comes back here at the tip of the tail. The amount of detail all over the sculpt though, like I said, it's really nicely done, especially here on the feet. Nicely sculpted, I would say. So that looks really nice with the line texture and everything, so it almost reminds me of the rough skin texture you'd find on an elephant. Yeah, really nicely done in this one, and I really like the colors. The colors are very nice too. I like this bluish green color with the yellowish stripes. They kind of fit perfectly together, and you got like this lighter color that kind of stripes here. I'm sure this kind of continues more on the underbelly, so I kind of wish it did. And then you got some brown just here on the tip of the head, so I don't know where it's going to be applied in the show, but it's just the top of the head here, and it's got a bright yellow eye, which looks nice. So yeah, I really do like the look of this one a lot. Articulation, the arms can move forward and backwards, and they can pivot in and out, and the legs can move forward and backwards as well, and even pivot in and out, so you got some nice articulation. And the tail can also move. Then you also got the scan code, there it is, for that as well. And now for the action feature, it's got the spin wheel effect, and we'll test out its sounds. So it's got some nice sounds. They're very similar to the Soundstrike Majungasaurus back in 2020. It's got some similar sounds with some different ones, so I don't know if they're going to be accurate to the show or not. But I do like how the neck can move, and then both jaws can open and separate, and like they're different than the jaw, so it kind of, there's multiple joints here. Really cool though. I really do like this Majungasaurus a lot, and I can't wait to see it in the show, assuming it's going to show up. Next up, we got the Pachyrhinosaurus. Finally, an actual Pachyrhinosaurus toy. I know we got one back in 2018, but this one's actually labeled Pachyrhinosaurus, and this one just looks downright awesome. It's pretty similar to the one in the show. It's not entirely accurate. This could have been based off of earlier designs or concept art of it, but for the most part, it does kind of capture the look of it very nicely. Obviously, it's missing the spikes here in the middle of the frill, though that one belongs to the species Lacustae, whereas this one in Chaos Theory I think is based on the Canadensis species. So a brand new species, and I like that because that's adding some change. We're always used to Lacustae, so now we're going to get a different species for the franchise, and this one looks pretty good. I really do like it a lot. I enjoyed it in the show. I'm looking forward to posing this with my Allosaurus to match that fight. But the amount of detail on it is really nice for this Ceratopsian, with the amount of details and the scales all over the frill, the nasal boss right here, and all over the body. Just great detail. Look at that, just awesome detail with the frill. Obviously, yeah, the frill, but the body as well. Looking very nice here at the bottom. It's a lot more smoother, but you got some nice lined, rough skin texture here towards the bottom part of the limbs. Nice muscle definition all throughout. Obviously, you got a sneak peek of the sounds. Interesting how it's like how thin it is too, looking at it from the top. So it's almost like the Habitat Defender Triceratops. Kind of weird. I would have liked it for it to be a bit more bulky, but it looks good from the side nonetheless. And the entire face just looks really good. It looks really good. And the paint job is really nice too, very basic, not entirely accurate to the show, but it does work though. It looks really nice with the browns and the dark brown splotches and the lighter color and the different color for the nasal boss and the lighter cream colors for the horns. So really great. I know I really wish Mattel would have painted the cheek spikes right here, but it's just those two. Yeah, very nicely painted figure. The entire head is made out of like the softer plastic material, so it's very soft and squishy. So kind of like the Pentaceratops a little bit. So that's pretty cool. I really do like that a lot. Articulation, pretty simple. The arms can pivot in and out, and they can move forward and backwards. Same with the legs right here. They can pivot in and out, and they can move forward and backwards. And the tail can also move as well. Here we got the scan code. Yeah, I really do like this Pachyrhinosaurus figure a lot. I like the dark eyes too. Just a really great figure. I really do like this one. I have an actual official Jurassic Park Pachyrhinosaurus with its official canon design. Just super cool. Now for the action feature, you got the little spin wheel. So really great sound effects. It's got the classic Triceratops sound effects from the Jurassic franchise, fitting for a Jurassic Ceratopsian, even though the Pachyrhinosaurus in the show kind of made more Sinoceratops sound effects. But really fitting for this one, and I even caught a glimpse of a Pachycephalosaurus sound effect in there too, so that's pretty cool. Really nice sound effects and nice overall detail. Just an overall great Pachyrhinosaurus figure. And last but not least, here we got the awesome and massive Beckel Spinax, a brand new species to the franchise and in the show. Looking really great. The amount of detail, just the way this figure looks, is just spot on. The detail, just everything about it, this figure is phenomenal. Like, Mattel literally took this guy out of the screen from the show and just brought it in toy form. That's what it looks like to me, and that's really good. That's a really big compliment for you, Mattel. I mean, you guys have been doing great with all these figures, but this one's just, it's like very accurate to the one in the show, like very accurate. It's really great. Like, look at that head sculpt. That head sculpt is great. It's stepped right out of the show. Just a really cool looking dinosaur, very unique. And here on the inside of the mouth, got some nice texture here on the tongue. Nice and glossy too, kind of give it like that wet effect. The teeth are nicely sculpted with this separate molded rubber piece. Yeah, it just looks just like it too, and the amount of detail over the face, it just pops. It looks really great. See, all over the neck as well, some nice skin wrinkles, and all over the body, some nice muscle definition. Just the amount of scale detail Mattel packed into this figure is great, with some larger pebbles sticking out here and there. And I like this wrinkly lined texture, that like these little skin folds looking really nice. It reminds me of just the skin patterns or the skin folds on modern reptiles. Here in the hands or the arms, looking nicely sculpted. The muscle definition, yeah, it's really great. Here at the legs, muscle definition is great. The amount of sculpt work is just excellent. Just a really great overall figure. I'm just kind of briefly going over it. And here at the tail, just really nicely done. It really pops depending on where the shading is applied to this figure too. And here you got the classic sail on the Beckel Spinax, which looks really great too. I like the scale work on it too. I like how it's not just like a smooth sail, it's got some actually texture to it. And I like these spikes here at the top. So it's got, this Beckel Spinax really got like a very unique look when compared to other theropods in the franchise, especially here in the head area. It's much different. Like you can just tell it's just a different species. Yeah, just a really great detail. And then the spikes, like I said, are really nice. They're made of a softer plastic, so they're not painted. They're molded separately and placed into the figure, which adds to the quality, the better quality of these figures. Like Mattel is just improving. I can't wait to see how they're gonna keep on growing. So yeah, really great there. We got the scan code here hidden in the sail. Very clever. And yeah, the colors are spot on. They're literally 100% accurate to how they are in the show, with the red around the face and this brownish purplish pattern, or the stripe that kind of goes down. The arms actually were more of the green color, I believe, but that's all right. That's not a big deal. The sails got like this nice purpley brown color with some lighter color in between the little vertebrae here. Then you got some this dark olive green for the majority of the body, with a lighter green here at the back of the head. So Mattel packed a lot of color into this figure. Even these spikes here are painted that brown color. The toenails are painted with a dark color. You got a nice lighter color for the underside, which would have been nice if it continued, but for the most part, it works perfect. A nice bright yellow eye with a black slit, very accurate to the show. And inside the mouth, it's got that nice pink fleshy color with the lighter teeth color, which works perfect. So yeah, really great figure overall. The size is probably a bit too big. It was definitely not that big in the show. It was probably would have been big like the maybe some of these medium-sized carnivores like the Majungasaurus, but they put it in this bigger size, so this guy could easily rival against the Allosaurus, which would be pretty cool. And yeah, just overall great detail. Articulation, the arms can pivot in and out, and forward and backwards. The legs can also pivot in and out, and they can move forward and backward as well. So a nice range of motion there. And the ankles can also rotate. And the tail here has got an articulated joint that can only move side to side. It can't rotate or go up and down, just side to side. And even the tip of the tail can also move too. So you can have some added extra articulation. Now for the action feature, it's got 2 spin wheels instead of just one. So it really doesn't matter which one you use. The action feature works the same. But if you roll it forward for the most part, and you can roll it back too. So it makes all these cool sound effects, and it makes the head go up and down and the jaw open and close and snap. But also, if you push it back, you can make the spikes come out of the tail. That's for the, the epic evolution, gimmick that all these figures have to have. See if you put it back. Let's see. This wheel is pretty hard to maneuver. It doesn't like stay. You have to kind of like keep on rolling it in order for it to click. All right, so see, I rolled it back and the spikes stick out, and they can just stay there if you want to, but I like to leave mine in because it's a bit more accurate, since this dinosaur didn't really have that in the show. Yeah, really cool though. Just chomps its head and makes some noises. The noises, I mean, I don't think they're very accurate to the one in the show. I hear a lot of juvenile Allosaurus sound effects from Fallen Kingdom in there. But, it works. It's not a big deal for the most part. This figure is already perfect enough as it is. So I'm really happy with this one. And it's just such a gorgeous figure. All right, everyone. So I'm going to have to cut this video short. It's already becoming longer than I would have liked. And I even get to do any comparisons. But I'm gonna do the comparisons in a separate video. I'll either post that directly after I post this one or maybe a day after it, I don't know, but I'll get that out as soon as I can. But yeah, we'll just do that in a separate video. I hope you guys enjoyed this initial review-ish. So like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys again in the comparison video.